Tuesday, the 10th of February, 2025. Where did the last month and a half go, basically, right? Not a full month and a half, but Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Hope you guys are doing well. I have not yet got around to starting my full season of Libertarian Lowdown or Monday Night Musings, TC and Friends Monday Night Musings. Set to start rolling out episodes for that here pretty soon, so looking forward to new content going out. But in the meantime, I am still writing, or have started writing again, and still plan on publishing at the Substack on a weekly basis on Sundays, about 6:15, between 6:15 and 6:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. A new essay will be dropping pretty much every Sunday, so tune in for that. I'm going to try to remember to start putting those up in the community. Hey, Joko, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Been catching your videos lately. Finally getting notifications for your stuff, so I really appreciate what you're out there doing, Joko. Just keep it up. Love to have you on sometime for a new season of TC and Friends Monday Night Musings. Chris Milky, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Share this out while I'm waiting for everybody to tune in. Started a couple of minutes early to give everybody a chance to get notifications, because you know how ScrewTube is. They don't always send out notifications like they said they would. Don't mind me looking like a Jedi here. Currently waiting for the heat to fully kick on in the vehicle, and we've had colder temps the last few days than we did in some of the coldest stretches of January, which is just really, pretty par for the course for Minnesota, frankly. But yeah, anywho. Thank you to all the channel members, by the way, all the ACT localists. I really appreciate all of you being here. Bandit, where? Road pirate? Pablo said there's a road pirate nearby. Is that what you're trying to get at, Pablo? Did you see something I didn't see? But anyway, thank you to all the channel members. Really appreciate everybody that comes out and supports. Really appreciate my two show producers, three actually. We've got the Angry Vet from here on YouTube, is a big show producer. He really helps out with everything that he's done for the channel. IMAF from Subscribestar is a show producer. He comes in at that top level of support as well. So really appreciate that. Thank you, IMAF. Thank you, Tav. And to my anonymous, thank you very much. You know who you are, young lady, and I really appreciate your show producer work that you do that's helped keep everything going. Hey, Cass, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. So, once again, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up, give a big like. And if you haven't yet, if you need some downtime, some relaxation, check out the live stream for the Freedom Clock. I do that every day, starting at about 5:50 in the morning, anywhere from 5:50 to 6:20 in the morning. And we put the chickens up to let everybody enjoy some relaxation with the Freedom Flock. One of these days I'll give you guys an update about why I call it the Freedom Flock, but it has something to do with my city not wanting me to have my chickens, because I didn't jump through hoops that they wanted me to jump through to have chickens in my tiny little quaint southeastern Minnesota town. So anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys about yes, Cass, I will send you a stream link every day, and you can put it on whenever you feel like it. I will do that specifically for you. But I wanted to talk to you guys about DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, and I wanted to start off by applauding and this is going to sound weird because I don't do this very often with Donald Trump, but I want to applaud Donald Trump for his efforts in improving government efficiency. I think we can all agree that of all of the employers in the United States that you could possibly have, the federal state, I hate calling it government, but the federal state is the least efficient that there is. And their efficiency goes so far as to be actually a detriment to accountability. That it's just that bad. And DOGE has exposed some garbage that just needs to end. We can all agree on that. There's just absolutely nothing. If you can't agree that DOGE needs to continue to expose the corruption and the paying out of billions of dollars to foreign countries, foreign assets. I mean, we literally saw USAID gave a large sum of money for a trans propaganda musical or something like that to Ireland. Like, that's our money, folks. But so some of that crap is just ridiculous. We shouldn't be sending a single dime to any country, any other country in the world at all. We have no business at all sending money to any other country while our people are hurting, and our people are hurting. I love and hate the phrase "that's a first world problem." The United States is definitely a first world country, but we have a lot of people that are experiencing non-first world problems in this country. There are people out there in the United States of America that are literally struggling to put food on their table, and it's not because they're worthless individuals. I hate that phrase. There are people who have paid their debt to society, who have criminal convictions, who have done prison time, who can't get jobs because of that. They sure they've committed crimes, but there's no restoration in the United States for a lot of these people. They can never get a break. They can never catch a break, and we're giving billions of dollars to Israel. We're giving billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine. We're giving billions of dollars to fund physical therapy and billions of dollars to fund medical care for Ukrainian soldiers who are wounded in their proxy war with Russia that we have no business being involved in. We're giving them billions of dollars of aid. Not that, of course, is being misspent by Zelensky and his ilk. And we've got veterans here in the U.S. who can't get care. So I'm all for cutting out fraud, waste, and abuse. I'm absolutely for cutting out fraud, waste, and abuse. And I echo what Cass is saying in the chat. But I want to see receipts. I want to see that what we're doing is actually cutting out fraud, waste, and abuse. I want to see the actual documentation of fraud, waste, and abuse. And that's what we should all be doing, right? That we should all be demanding this. I don't care if you're a Trump supporter or not a Trump supporter. I don't care if you're the biggest Bernie bro in the world or the biggest Biden backer or the Harris helper, whatever it is. I don't care who you are. We should be all 100% on board with saying we want to see an end to fraud, waste, and abuse. And if you can't be on board with the ending of fraud, waste, and abuse, then I don't know that there's hope for you. But we can't just say because my guy is the one who's doing it, for you Trump people. If you just are blindly out here saying, I'm 100% behind this because it's Donald Trump and it's Elon Musk, then you're blind. You're absolutely blind. You're doing the exact thing that has caused all of the problems in this country of ours since the end of the Civil War. Really, since the inception of the American Civil War. Really. And I know that's a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow, left and right. And by the way, I'm not a conservative Republican, and I'm not a leftist progressive Democrat. I am a paleo libertarian. I have a very strong paleo libertarian roots. I am a strong adherent to constitutional originalism, and because of that, I don't fit in a camp that most people would try to push me into. So if you hear me critiquing Donald Trump, it's not because I'm a Bernie backer. It's not because I'm a hardcore progressive leftist. I'm not a Democrat. Never voted for a Democrat in my life. I'm probably never going to vote for another Republican again for the rest of my life either, unless I happen to find a Thomas Massey level Republican in my area that I can vote for. But I'll be hard pressed to ever support another Republican, ever, because some of my key issues are veterans. As a vet, some of my key issues are veterans. I'm an anti-interventionist. I do not believe the United States should be projecting its military power into the world for any reason whatsoever. I don't care if it's to back Israel. If Israel wants to, and this all ties into government efficiency and fraud, waste, and abuse. Bear with me. You guys know me. I'll bring this full circle. I'm an anti-interventionist. I don't want a single drop of American wage slave taxpayer dollars going to any country, to include Israel. If geopolitical Zionist Israel cannot survive without American money and American weaponry, if we can't keep the peace in the Middle East without paying billions to Israel, billions to Egypt, billions to Saudi Arabia, billions to Jordan, then let them fucking kill themselves. Let them kill each other, but get the United States out of it. End of story. I don't care if they kill each other. Stability in the Middle East is not my problem. Regional conflicts are not my problem. And if your argument is well, regional conflicts bleed over to larger sectarian violence across the entire globe, that's why we have a strong standing policy of defending the United States at her borders and along her coasts. If anybody threatens the United States homeland, then we do something. But if Iran wants to lob rockets and missiles at Israel, and Israel wants to lob rockets and missiles back at Iran, let them. And the first one of them that looks like they're going to develop a nuke and launch it at their enemy, we take them out. If we believe it's going to impact us. But I'm opposed to interventionism, because when we do interventionism, it looks like regime change around the world. It looks like CIA, deep state, black ops, USAID operations, where we decide who is going to rule which countries, and because it's in our best interest to have a friendly person in that area for the financial benefit of people in Congress and in the State Department and everywhere else. That's fraud, waste, and abuse. And I want that to end. So once again, my priorities as a veteran are veterans, anti-interventionism, because I love our troops, and I don't want to see them coming home in body bags anymore, ever again, for any reason. For no reason. I do not want them. I don't want another American soldier to come home from another country in a body bag so that we can look at their family members and say, hey, he was fighting for your freedom in the poppy fields of Afghanistan. Hey, she was fighting for your freedom in cartel drug gang hangouts in Central America for your freedom. Or we have to spread democracy at the cost of the life of your child in a combat zone at the point of a gun. Just let that sink in, folks. Is there any greater fraud, waste, and abuse than the fraud that is perpetrated on the American people when we ask our young men and women to volunteer to go off to foreign countries and spread democracy through the threat of violence? I mean, that's what we're doing. We are spreading democracy through the threat of violence. So yeah, I want that to end, because I think that would end a massive amount of fraud, waste, and abuse. Now, how does this tie into DOGE? It ties into DOGE like this. Elon Musk, dark mega, put out a statement on X, formerly known as Twitter. I call it Twix. Twitter and X combined, Twix. So if I have to explain it, it's probably not that funny. Or you're just not that quick. But he put out a statement on Twix wherein he said that basically he's shocked at the amount of fraud that's happening in Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security and etc. Now, hey, Crazy Corman, Robert Johnson, thanks for being here. You are as quick as molasses in January in Minnesota, or in February right now. We have facing us now Elon Musk with a small cadre of basement-dwelling mama's boys. Like literally, this is what I'm picturing is Elon and his crew in the basement of the U.S. Treasury, sitting on beanbags, drinking Mountain Dew Baja Blast, eating Cheetos. Said what I said. While their mom's yelling at them to hurry up and come get their Kraft macaroni and cheese with chicken nuggets chopped up and put in it. Coding in the basement, finding all the dirt and the secrets that they've been told they need to find, as they program these algorithms to reach out into these spider webs across all of the departments of the federal government. And now Elon is focusing on the fraud that's taking place in Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, disability, and etc. And it's very, very key, and etc. Folks, there's this tendency, a very strong, overwhelming, overbearing tendency in conservative circles, especially amongst veterans, to be in the camp of supporting Donald Trump. There's this massive drive amongst veterans, especially, to be out there saying, you know, we're backing Trump, we're all on board with DOGE. And a lot of these veterans Thanks for stopping by from Italy, Alex. Good to see you. There's a massive drive amongst them to back DOGE at all costs. And I think that's probably a good thing. Once again, if we're getting the receipts, if we're seeing this play out. But what a lot of my fellow veterans don't understand in this move, in this drive that they have, is that we already have veterans that are having a hard time getting care from the VA. Give me a second, Alex. We've got a lot of veterans in the United States who were promised that they would be taken care of for serving their country, for serving their republic. Who, as we know, with AVA, you know, my veteran friend from California, with the Angry Vet, my veteran friend from Maryland, and Blind Justice, and on and on and on and on and on. I can give story after story after story of the fraud, waste, and abuse and the inefficiency of the Veteran Affairs Administration and their care for veterans. How hard it is for veterans to get care, to get any kind of certification at all. And if we're being honest, if we could take the VA and administration and take the money that is given to the VA in their budget every year and instead give that directly to the veterans and their families to spend as they need on medical care and their expenses, we would be far better off as veterans. It's absolutely foundationally, fundamentally true. We would be far better off. But we can't seem to get anywhere with that. And so we would love for Elon to audit the VA. The problem is with DOGE and what Elon said about the fraud that's taking place with Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and etc., is that when he turns his sights on the VA, he's not going to turn his sights on the VA and shut it down and give the money to the vets. He's going to turn his sights on fraud, waste, and abuse in the VA and go after the people that he believes are committing the fraud, committing the waste, committing the abuse. Hey Jugs, thanks for being here. Loose Gunt, thanks for stopping in, brother. Cass, I would agree with you, but I don't think Congress should get health care at all. I think they should have to pay for health insurance like everybody else does. I do not believe in single-payer health care. So, and that's basically what Congress gets is they get their own little plan that they get to pay into, but it basically amounts to single-payer health care. And they get that for life, too. That's just asinine. I'm going to appeal again to my fellow veterans who are, big into supporting DOGE and watching it turned against all these other agencies and pointing out fraud, waste, and abuse. How are you going to feel? How are you going to respond when you've already had to fight to get a disability rating with the VA and Elon Musk decides that we're going to eliminate migraines as part of the process for getting a disability rating with the VA? Because how do you prove you have a migraine? There isn't a medical assessment that can prove that you have migraines. Now, if you have migraines, whether they be on a regular basis, regularly reoccurring, or on a semi-regular basis. If you have migraines, you know you've got a migraine. You know how bad that thing hurts. You know how bad it sucks. But you can't prove that medically. The best you can do is report that you're having migraines. That's it. That's the best you can do, is report that you're having migraines. Tinnitus is another step used by the VA to determine and ascertain what a person should have for disability ratings. What if Elon Musk arbitrarily decides that that's part of the fraud that's being committed and they strip that away? No, it's not asinine to bring into the conversation Valentine Bride. He's pointing out fraud, he's pointing out waste, and he's pointing out abuse. And all they're doing is saying this needs to go. And how are you going to determine that if you don't have somebody who's outside of the agency determining what's going to qualify as fraud and waste? He said, we've found fraud, waste, and abuse, massive amounts of fraud in Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. And it needs to be eliminated. But you're not going to eliminate it without identifying where it's happening, and the only way to identify where it's happening is by going after assessments of what is being done to get that money into the hands of the people who he's claiming are committing fraud, which means there's going to have to be an assessment. And like I said, Lou, there's a lot about what he's doing, Lou, that I do appreciate. What I don't like is that we have yet again an unelected person, a foreign national in this case. Elon Musk is not an American. I don't care if he's naturalized citizen or not. He's a foreign national who, up until the last election, supported Biden and Obama, who's made billions of dollars. He made billions of dollars on fraudulent, wasteful contracts with the federal government. He's a hardcore leftist and has been. And now a guy who's made his millions, made his billions by taking money from the working class people of the United States is now running around deciding who is committing fraud and who is not committing fraud. He's deciding that. He gets to decide that. What agencies are committing fraud and where the fraud is being committed. Because he's got this magic little algorithm that's telling him. And that's the problem with algorithms. Algorithms can be made to do what you want them to do. The algorithm doesn't have a unique personality that says, whoa, wait a minute, I don't think you should be doing this. The algorithm goes in and says, oh, hey, look, here's a case of fraud. Now, maybe in the case of Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, Elon Musk is saying, hey, this is pointed out that we've got one person here with the same Social Security number and the same address who's getting 8 different Social Security checks a year or a month. Maybe that's what he's found. But we don't know, because he's just saying that he's found these things, and then he's giving some numbers. And all I'm concerned about is what happens when he decides to turn that on the Veteran Affairs Administration and they start to target fraud. And one of the ways that he compels the VA via his big backer there, Donald Trump, or is it he's a big Donald Trump backer? I mean, they're kind of on each other's team. Is that he decides to go after the VA, and the VA says, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to stop allowing migraines and tinnitus to be entry-level ways to get a rating for disability. If they're going to cut down on fraud, do you really believe, without an outside source stepping into the VA and saying, here's what you're going to actually cut, that if they tell the VA you got to stop the fraud, who are they going to go after? The VA is going to go after the veterans. They're not going to go after the actual fraud that's happening inside of the agency. They're going to go after the veterans and say, we're eliminating these as diagnosis. We're not going to allow migraine tracking to qualify you for a rating any longer. We're not going to allow tinnitus to qualify you as a rating anymore. You can't even prove that your migraines were caused by being in the military. You can't even prove that your tinnitus was caused by being in the military. There are hundreds of thousands of people out there with migraines and tinnitus that were never in the military. So how do we know that you didn't get it from listening to loud music? How do we know that you didn't develop migraines as a child? How do we know that? Because that's what the VA will do. The VA is not interested in the veterans. The VA is the biggest sham department that the United States government has. And they will do anything they can to screw over veterans. And if they come under the scrutiny of DOGE, they will throw veterans under the bus to end fraud. And you can sit here and say, no, that won't happen. But you can't say that it won't. Elon Musk isn't a ally of the military. Elon Musk isn't an ally of the veterans of the United States. Elon Musk doesn't give a good goddamn about anybody but Elon Musk. Period. You think Elon Musk is operating DOGE for free? You think that Elon Musk isn't getting some sort of contract somehow to do this? You don't, $7 million a week to operate DOGE, which there again, if they're fully transparent and whatnot, it might be worth the investment. But I want to see that DOGE actually produces something of value, produces something of merit. That's what I want to see. And once again, foreign national who made billions of dollars off the United States wage slaves. Elon Musk made billions of dollars off of wage slaves, and now he cares about how your tax dollars are being spent? I'm supposed to believe that Elon Musk is doing this because he's a true patriot? Come on. Really? You really believe that? You really believe that Elon Musk is that big of a patriot that the only reason he's doing any of this is because he cares so much about the little guys in the United States? He's not even an American. Well, the problem with FOIA requests, and actually when it comes to budget, Chris, a lot of the stuff that they're finding is actually available if you're willing to comb through it all on your own. I don't care where his grandpa's from, Robert. he's not an American. He doesn't give a damn about Americans. He doesn't give a damn about South Africans. He doesn't give a damn about anybody but Elon Musk and making more money off of the United States wage slaves. And there again, look, if they can eliminate the fraud, the waste, and the abuse, I'm all for it. Let it be. Let them do it. But I want to see actual results. But the problem is that the president can't do a damn thing about any of that. Congress has got to be on board. Congress has got to be on board, and Congress's bread is buttered on both sides. So they're so much of this stuff they're going to fight just by not allowing it. They're just not going to allow a lot of it. And no, I don't trust that he's going to protect veterans. We've already got, the reality is we've already got Donald Trump talking about sending the military into Gaza to ethnically cleanse the remaining few million people that are there, so that they can go through and clean the area up and turn it into a Riviera type resort area. And so, no, I don't think that Trump gives a damn about our military. I don't think he gives a damn about our vets. And I know that Elon Musk doesn't. He doesn't give a damn about anybody but Elon. And while I support the initiative of DOGE, I need a lot more tangible stuff to be released like 2 days ago for any of this to matter the way everybody says it matters. To believe that they're actually going to make a difference. And here's something else to remember. Folks, whatever DOGE can do under Trump, DOGE can do under Gavin Newsom when he's president. Whatever DOGE can do under Trump, DOGE can do under Gretchen Whitmer when she's president. And don't think for a minute that because Donald Trump won this election that we're never going to have a hardcore progressive leftist president ever again. We will. And it might be an overreaction to Donald Trump in 2028. It might be a course correction because of Donald Trump in 2028. Now, can you imagine the next person coming in and taking charge of DOGE, putting Michael Bloomberg in charge of DOGE, or Pete Buttigieg in charge of DOGE? Can you imagine what that would be like? Don't sit here and applaud that because you like Elon Musk, because he supported Donald Trump and he got DOGE started, that DOGE is going to always be this really wonderful thing. DOGE is now a department, not officially, but is now a department. And every time a department is created out of the whole cloth by the imperial presidencies, the first of them being Abraham Lincoln, and look at the shit that shitstorm caused. Every time a department is created by the executive branch, by the imperial presidency, it never goes away, it gets worse, and all it does is hurt we the people. So you might like what it's doing now, but will you like it if George Soros is in charge of it? Will you like it if it's Michael Bloomberg who's in charge of it? Will you like it if it's David Hogg in charge of it? Will you like it if it's Pete Buttigieg? Would you like it if it was one of the Krasenstein brothers who was in charge of it? Would you like it if it was Bill Gates who was in charge of it? No, you wouldn't, because you wouldn't like what it was doing. You wouldn't like the way it was being managed because it's being managed by somebody that's not one of your boys. Well, folks, that's the way government works. That's the way the federal state works. It's great when it's your people in charge. When it's not your people in charge, it's not good for you. And that's why I resist all of this. I don't trust any of them. I don't trust a bit of them. And the bigger the promises that they make to do things that are good for me, the more likely it is everything they're going to do ultimately for me is going to screw me. And it's going to screw you, and it's going to screw the people I care about the most. You don't have to like what I'm saying. You don't even have to agree with me. But don't think for a minute that they won't go after the people you care about just because you like the guy that's in charge right now. Sooner or later, this is going to bite us in the ass. And it might be a lot sooner than you think. Until next time, fight for your freedom, it is yours. Fight for your liberty, it belongs to you. And sic semper, Tyrannus.